cats! Welcome back to another episode of Chat About Tay. I'm your host, Bella, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the Party of a Showgirl movie. Before I start the episode, I want to say that Taylor actually released a track-by-track version of the album on streaming platforms, and she basically goes through the meanings of the songs pretty much from what is in the Party of a Showgirl movie. So if you're interested in hearing exactly what she was saying, you can check out that track by track version. But this podcast will explore more than just what she said in the Party of a Showgirl, but just my experience with the movie and my official ranking of the album songs at the end of the podcast. So I hope you enjoy. So I went and saw the Party of a Showgirl last weekend with my sister, and it was incredible. So before the movie started, she had a bunch of pictures on the screen from the album. So there were a lot of the same pictures that we'd seen from the vinyl variant and different promotional things that she was doing for the album. But all those pictures were it was like a slideshow of all those pictures up on the big screen, including the album cover and the Target exclusive ad that she had. And while those visuals were on the screen, a bunch of different songs were playing, and it was kind of just like a little pre-show thing to get people hyped for the movie, which I thought that was really cool because right when you walked into the theater, you could just hear the songs, and they were all songs that she had worked on with Martin and Shellback, so I thought that was cool. So it's kind of like a little preview of what you were going to hear on the album if you hadn't heard the album before. It was really, really cool. And then the last song that was playing before the movie started was Ready for It, which, obviously that's the song she's going to pick for that. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool, and that was a really good way to start the movie. Basically, Taylor was explaining the meanings behind the songs, and the movie opened up with a little message from her, just saying how she was so excited about the movie, and then she immediately shows us the Fate of Ophelia music video. And this music video probably is one of the best music videos that Taylor has ever done. The production value was amazing. You can just tell how much thought and care went into this music video, and just the level of theatrics in this music video was something that I've never seen from Taylor before. And the music video did premiere on YouTube on October 5th. So everybody can see the music video, and everybody can see all of the lyric videos that were also in the movie. So I knew going into the movie that was going to be the case. It's not going to be an exclusive thing. She might release the meanings behind the songs portion of the Party of a Showgirl at some point. But, the point of me personally going to see the movie wasn't to have some exclusive thing. It was, I wanted to see this in the theaters. I wanted to support her. I wanted to be in that moment. But with all of the songs, she basically said the track title. She went into detail about every single song, and listening to her explain the meaning behind them and her thought process going into them and what inspired the songs definitely made me like this album even more than I already did. And at the end of the last episode, I did say that this was number 2 out of all of her albums. I think I'm going to bump it to number 3 just because I think 1989 it's not better, but I think it's just a little bit more iconic, and I don't know. I like 1989 a little bit better than this, but Life of a Showgirl is number 3 for me. Yeah, it's not better than Reputation. It's kind of only, I would say it's 1% lower than 1989 for me, because those are just 2 of my favorite albums. But then after that, I would probably say my next favorite album is Midnights, and then Lover. So those are all my favorite Taylor albums, but I love them all. And so with every song, she, like I said, she was explaining the meanings behind them. And the Fate of Ophelia she explained that one last because we kind of had already seen the music video in the beginning. And then in between and woven throughout the Party of a Showgirl movie, she had the behind the scenes videos of how she made the Fate of Ophelia music video. And if you follow Taylor on any anything, especially on YouTube, she does release behind the scenes content a lot for her music videos. She's been doing that for quite a long time. But I love seeing the behind the scenes stuff because the music video, like if you haven't seen it, go watch the music video because it's absolutely fantastic. But she just showcased how, she came up with the concept, and she was like on a Zoom meeting talking to people, talking about the concept. And then it was her, rehearsing the different sections. There's like dance numbers and just really like collaborating with all the people. And then the really cool thing is that all of her dancers, everybody that was involved in the Eras tour, is also in this music video, which I just think is so sweet, that she was including them. And her choreographer, Mandy Moore, she was so funny. Like, I don't know if she's been working with her before, but I really liked Mandy. She was a really cool choreographer. She seemed like she got Taylor, but it also seemed like Taylor really appreciated her insight and what she was bringing to the music video. And it seemed like it was a real collaboration, because I feel like sometimes with not just artists, but anybody, when you have an idea and it's like you're running the show, but there's other people that are there that are helping you, sometimes those people can be, well, this is my show, I want it to be like this, and I'm not compromising on anything. And that doesn't seem like the way Taylor runs things. She seems like she's very much, it's a collaboration. She cares about other people's opinions, and if something that she suggests works well, then they're going to go with it. But if somebody else is suggesting something, or, oh, I think that person should stand over there, or, the timing was a little off on this, she's so receptive to that feedback, which I think is important. And I think that is something that makes her so interesting and so likable. And most of the people, I would say the majority of the people who talk about her, like in interviews or just in anything, say how nice and wonderful of a person she is. And I really think that is showcased in this behind the scenes. So with all of the songs, she goes through all the different songs, all the behind the scenes content for the Fate of Ophelia music video that she was showing. It was her talking on that Zoom meeting that I mentioned earlier. And then she had behind the scenes of the opening scene where she's recreating this painting, and then she comes out of the painting, and it showed her, rehearsing, and showed that they're playing like a click track over the music, because like nobody knows, only a couple people on the set knew like what the song was. So she's recording the video and playing it, and doing it all to a click track so nobody can hear. So that was one of the behind the scenes that she did. The other one was the behind the scenes of the Marilyn Monroe like red outfit that she was wearing, that's in the lyric videos as well. And that was her doing this little dance sequence with all of her like backup dancers from the Eras tour, and she's really like, again, collaborating with the dancers and the choreographer. Another behind the scenes one that she did was from the scene where it's like on the boat. If you've seen the music video, it's this really cool elaborate scene where they made like out of giant wooden panels like three-dimensional it's like a 2D, but it's also kind of like 3D ship and water. And so she's, again, collaborating with her dancers and taking their ideas into consideration and just rehearsing it a couple of times. And it just shows like how much work and how much like care like put into this music video, because that scene was really, really, really cool. And I'm going to be going into that more in the next episode when I break down the music video. But I liked that part was really cool. And then another part that she was talking about in the behind the scenes was the scene with like her in the blue bathing suit. So it's very reminiscent of like old 30s, 40s videos and movies where it's sort of a lot of like synchronized swimmer kind of things. And she's up on this huge stage. There's all these extras. So they're all her dancers, her female dancers from the Eras tour. And then I'm assuming a bunch of other like extras as well. And it's just this really, really beautiful sequence in the movie. And it's one of my favorite scenes also from the video, because of just how like elaborate and like big scale it is. And I just think the behind the scenes is really cool that you can really see how much like production went into this music video. My jaw was dropped when I was watching the video and when I was seeing the behind the scenes of how just like big of a scale this video was. And then the last behind the scenes is the final scene from the movie where she's wearing this sort of a disc sparkly dress that's sort of sheer, and she's coming in through this hotel hallway on a cart, and they pass her like a football, and she like throws a football, obviously as a reference to Travis. And then she walks into the room, and it's a big party going on in this hotel room. She has a couple people from her band in there, and then all the Eras Tour dancers. And then she like has she talks about how she wanted to add all of her dancers and how important it was that they were all in the last scene. And so it's just her rehearsing that a couple of times, and then she explains the final scene where she is in like the bathtub, and that's reminiscent of the cover. It's the same outfit she's wearing on the cover of the music video. And then she talks about at the end of the Eras Tour, at the end of every night, she's partying in the hotel, she's partying, but then she takes a bath, and sort of how that visual of her just laying there, sort of like she's kind of dead in a sense because she's like tired at the end of the day. But then that's also referencing the fate of Ophelia, her drowning and everything. So that was the little behind the scenes stuff that she did throughout the movie. All of the lyric videos had different visuals in them, and these are available on YouTube now. But it was like a little sneak preview, and yeah, each one were a mix of different visuals, and kind of like boomerang kind of style, and then there were like kind of like looks like kaleidoscope effects as well. But each outfit that she was wearing are either outfits from the Fate of Ophelia music video or just from the album promotion as well, which I thought was really, really cool. And the first one she talks about is Elizabeth Taylor, because like I said, the Fate of Ophelia song, she talks about that at the end, because we had kind of already just like seen the music video, and she goes right into the other songs. So I wasn't taking notes at the movie theater, so I obviously don't remember everything that she said about all of the songs, but I will repeat what I remember that she said about these songs. So the first song she discussed is Elizabeth Taylor. The visual for the Elizabeth Taylor lyric video is taken from the Fate of Ophelia music video, and it is the scene where she is wearing this like rope dress, and she has this black wig on, and she looks so beautiful. I've always thought that Taylor should dye her hair black because I think she looks so good with dark hair. So that's the visual for Elizabeth Taylor. And that was one of the songs that when I listened to it the first time, I didn't really understand what it was about, and it took me a couple more listens to kind of figure it out, but after seeing the movie I understand way more with it. So she said that this song is taking aspects of Elizabeth Taylor's life and kind of weaving them into how Elizabeth Taylor's life was sort of reflected in Taylor's life, because she's kind of comparing herself to Elizabeth Taylor sometimes. And so the view of Portofino was on my mind, so that it's really taking her back to this place that she was with Travis, and having this conversation with him about, if we were to break up, if we were to end our relationship, I'd cry my eyes violet, Elizabeth Taylor, because Elizabeth Taylor's eyes were oftentimes described as being violet. And she also does a lot of like violet makeup and stuff. So she's talking about how she would cry her eyes just like that. Is she saying like, to me, like, this is like, tell me if this is real or not, if you think this is forever. And it's just like, it's that kind of thing. So I thought that was very interesting, her talking about how she compares herself to Elizabeth Taylor and how she sees that in herself. And it's just really, it's a love letter to Travis. And it's kind of reminds me of like Cornelia Street in a way, where she says, I hope I'll never lose you, hope it never ends. And then I'd cry my eyes violet if you were to leave me, kind of thing. So it's a little bit similar in that sense, but it's very personal. And I like it a lot more now that I understand more of what she was saying. The next song is Opalite, which this is my favorite song on the album. The Opalite lyric video visual is from the Fate of Ophelia music video as well, and it is her in the blue glittery bathing suit. And I thought this was a really cute visual for this song because it's really bright and happy. This was the song that Travis on the couch podcast said that this was his favorite, and I completely see why he loves this song. And she was talking about how opals are her favorite gemstone. Her mom loved opals, and that's sort of the gemstone that they will use in their jewelry, and that's their favorite. But she's also talking about how beautiful the sky is and everything when it's opalite, and how this song is really about, all your life, people will tell you, like, you'll know when you want to marry somebody. And she's saying, we were dancing through lightning strikes, on sleeping in onyx nights, but now the sky is beautiful. Like, so everything that kind of was bad, she had to go through all these bad things, and now she's finally found somebody, and her skies have opened up, and it's opalite. And I just think that's a really nice metaphor and parallel. So this song, this is such a good song. That's the best song on the album. I mean, Travis was not lying. The next one was Father Figure, which I liked this song from the beginning, but it was one of those I kind of had to listen to a couple more times. The visual for Father Figure is, I believe, taken from the album photo shoot, because this outfit was not in the music video. But it's her wearing this gold and silver, like showgirl costume, and she's kind of looking a little like moody, and a little I don't know, powerful in that one. So that's the visual for Father Figure. And she said that this is sort of a play on Father Figure, and sort of what that relationship means, but also, like I said, she sampled George Michael's Father Figure song, and she reached out to their estate, and they were so happy that she was going to use it. And she said that she's kind of in the song being both the protege and the father figure. And she said that she's been both of those before, and sort of how that relationship can change over time. And that, somebody that you really looked up to, that took you under their wing and really showed you, their world and brought you into that world, they can kind of betray you. And you also have to be, as the protege, as someone who's sort of turning into them, you have to be on your toes and you have to adapt. And unfortunately, sometimes that means you have to, cut somebody off, or, maybe betray them or something. So very interesting. I really love this song much more. But I will say that the lyric videos for the first two songs, there were no like swear words or anything in them. And then this song, this is where I learned that the entire Party of a Showgirl movie was going to be the clean versions, which I don't mind her clean versions, because she replaces words instead of just bleeping them out or taking them out. Which I think just bleeping out bad words, I think that's just lazy. It's just my opinion. And the line of the song that she changed is, "You made a deal with the devil, turns out my DICK's bigger." She replaces that word with check. So it's it changes the meaning a little bit, but it still gets the point across. And she does that a lot with some of the other songs. So I was just a little bit disappointed, because I like the original lyrics of songs. I don't like to listen to radio edits or anything, because that's just not the original lyric. But I understand why she changed them, because, if you're going to bring your kids to this movie, you don't want them up on the screen in giant words for a lyric video saying, the F word or whatever. So I understand why she changed it, but I was just a little disappointed. But still enjoyed it. That didn't ruin anything. So I think Father Figure, I like that a lot more. I kind of understand the song a lot more. And then Eldest Daughter. Oh, this song is so sad. This song is so sad. The visual for Eldest Daughter is taken from the album booklet photo shoot as well. She's wearing that red bodysuit, and she's sitting at a piano, and it's a little bit more serious, a little less her performing and being showy. It's kind of just a more like an intimate moment. She talks about her mental struggles as being the eldest daughter, and how the internet is sort of just this mean place, and everybody just is all about being mean and being apathetic instead of empathetic, and it's all cutthroat. And she's really soft and found somebody now who respects her, and that now she's finally sort of changing her mindset. and it's the every eldest daughter was the first lamb to the slaughter. I'm not a bad bitch. This isn't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down. I'm never gonna leave you out. And so it's just I like this song a lot more. I think this is probably my least favorite song on the album just because it's sad. So I probably won't skip it, but like if I'm in like the dancey mood, I might skip it. But I don't think it's a bad song or anything. It's just sad. And she says every youngest child felt like they were raised in the wild, but now you're home. So she's talking about how Travis is the youngest child. She's the oldest child. She's never going to let you down. She's never going to leave you out. She's never going to break that vow. It's really sad, but I really like that song a lot. But it is definitely very, very sad. The next song she discussed is Ruin the Friendship. The visual for this song is taken from the Fate of Ophelia music video as well. She is in her hotel room, sitting on the floor, throwing confetti, and she's holding a glass of wine, and she's wearing that sequiny sheer dress that she wears at the end of the music video. And it's just kind of a sweet video. She's like throwing the confetti around, looking at the camera, and I like that visual. And this song was her reminiscing on past love that could have been. And a lot of people think that this is a reference to, or this story is talking about Jeff Lang, who was a friend of hers and Abigail's, and he died. I don't know if that is specifically who she wrote the song about. She did not say who she wrote it about, but that is people's thought. So not sure if that's exactly true. But she's talking about how, she should have kissed them anyway, in ruining the friendship. It's like, just take the leap. It's better to ruin a friendship than to wonder always what could have been in a relationship. And I think it's interesting. And I think, she talks about how this album is the behind the scenes of what was going on during the Eras tour. And I think the reason that this sort of thought came to her is because she probably was looking back on past loves now that she's found the one, and kind of thinking, what would have my life have been if Travis wasn't the one? What if this other person was the one? And, should have just went for it because my life could have been different. But, things happen the way that they happen. But I really liked this song. I think it's kind of sad, but it's a really beautiful, poetic song. And I think that's just it's a really nice song. The next song is Actually Romantic, which this is probably my second or third favorite song. It's tied with another one. The visual for this song is her wearing the Marilyn Monroe red outfit and wig from the Fate of Ophelia music video, and she's in her dressing room, applying makeup and looking in the mirror and kind of kissing to the camera. It's really cheeky. I liked this visual. This was one of my favorite visuals from the lyric videos. But this song, I totally got what she was saying about this song when I listened to it the first time, but she just reiterated the point. She said that this is about somebody who, just has her on their mind all the time, and how, as she's gotten older, she's less annoyed with this kind of stuff, and she's more thinks of it as I'm always on your mind. That's kind of romantic that you think about me all the time. This is kind of interesting. And so it's kind of a mature mindset in a way to not let things bother you, and just kind of kind of write it off in a sense. And some people think this song is mean. I've seen a lot of discourse online already about this, because this is definitely about Charlie XCX. She obviously didn't say that. It's just why are you always talking about me? Why am I on your mind all the time? It's kind of you're thinking about me all the time. It's that kind of vibe. So I don't necessarily think this is a mean song. I think it's just a funny play on how people are always thinking about somebody in a negative way. But it's I always say in general that if somebody is always talking about you and you're always on their mind, it's why am I the person that's always on your mind? Why are you thinking about me all the time? Why are you obsessed with me? This is weird. My life and my being occupies your brain so much, and it's just kind of weird. So I get what she's saying with this song. I really I like this song, and yeah, I don't think it's mean at all. The next song that she talks about is Wish List, The visual for this one is also that same Marilyn Monroe red outfit that was in the Actually Romantic lyric video. And she is in the hallway right outside of the dressing room, and she's on the phone. And she kind of is like looking at the camera every now and then, walking into the room, is on the phone and kind of shies away from the camera and is like smiling. So it's kind of like she's talking to Travis like on the phone in this video. And it just that one's cute. I like that one as well. And I have seen a couple of interviews that Taylor's done. I'm still going through all of them, but I've seen a couple of the ones that she's done. And she has said that this is her favorite song on the album. And again, this was a song that I immediately understood the lyrics of when I originally heard it. But she said, this is like, people want so many things and they want all this extravagant stuff. And other people's wish lists are, kind of material things, but what she really wants is love, and that's more valuable. And I think this song is it's really sweet. I like this song a lot. I think it's just kind of an interesting sentiment of her wish list of what she wants in life is just to be left alone with her love and to just be, and that's like the most valuable thing. And I like that. I think it's a sweet song. She didn't really talk much about what this song was about. She was kind of just like being a little cheeky about it. The lyric video for Wood is also like the Opalite one, where it's the only visual that was in this specific outfit, and it is from the Fate of Ophelia music video, and it's that black dress that she's wearing during the first chorus. And it's like this black sequiny kind of Cher looking dress, and she has this black wig on as well. And she's like just dancing, and it's cute. It's different. I liked that one because it's sort of unique compared to the other ones. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I've been superstitious, but now I don't have to knock on wood anymore because I found somebody that I love." So her kind of not discussing this is kind of saying stuff without saying stuff, because this song is literally about if you know what the metaphor for the word wood is, that's kind of what it is. And she's talking about how now she doesn't have to knock on wood anymore. She doesn't have to be superstitious because she found this man, but her man is, so well endowed, I guess that's what she's getting at. But she's also saying like new heights of manhood. And obviously the New Heights is a reference to the New Heights podcast that Travis and Jason have, but like new heights of manhood. So it's kind of like he's a real man, but also like manhood is also a euphemism. So I love this song just because I like how like funny it is, and I like how it's very much an innuendo, but it's very cleverly done, and it doesn't take itself seriously. It knows that it's goofy. And I really love that song. That's tied for number 2 with Actually Romantic. Then after that, she talked about Canceled. The visual for this one is also in that red bodysuit. She's also in the auditorium. So it's the same set from the Eldest Daughter lyric video. And she's like sitting in one of the seats in the theater. And she's kind of like looking at the camera, kind of sultry, kind of like giving a face of like, yeah, come and join me kind of thing. So it definitely fits with Canceled. I totally got this as well when I heard it, but she's describing Canceled as she's been canceled many, many times in her life, and how, she's kind of become this like go-to person for other people to talk to when they get canceled. And so she's kind of like, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. It's not the end of the world. Everything's going to work out. And, she just talks about how most of her friends, have been canceled, but they kind of stay with her. And, it's not really the end of the world. And it's not going to, ruin your life if you're canceled. Like, everybody's got scars. Like, everybody has, something that they've done in their life that maybe wasn't the greatest, but it's fine. Like, we can move on from it. So I like this song. Again, people think that this song is a little... I don't know. Some people online were saying that they thought this was like kind of immature, and they thought it was kind of tone deaf to, say that you like that your friends are problematic, but it's not, she's not saying how the friends are problematic. She's just saying like, everybody gets canceled for something. Everybody, goes through a period where, they're falling out of favor, and how she understands that because she's been on that end before. And that, if that's happening to her friends, she can relate to them and they can relate to her, and she can be somebody that they can go to and, not really worry about it. So I do like this song. I get what she's saying. I think it's more poetic than it is immature. And then Honey, the visual for Honey is the same one as the Ruin the Friendship lyric video. I mean, she's doing like different things, but she's wearing that same dress. She's in her hotel room, kind of like dancing around and being like super happy. And I love that dress in the music video. That's one of my favorite outfits that she wears. So I'm glad that she did that visual twice. Again, this was a song that I definitely picked up on what it was the first time I listened to it. She says that this is, words that people use like honey and sweetheart and those kinds of things were always sort of derogatory. And it's like, oh, honey, like, you need to fix yourself, or, oh, that's all right, sweetheart. Like that kind of thing, where people are kind of just not being very sincere and they're using terms of endearment as sort of digs. And now she's saying, like, you can call me honey if you want, because you're the one I want. Like, I'm the one you want. Like, I am your honey, I am your sweetheart. And how the words sort of have been flipped, and now they really mean what they mean. And that's such a beautiful song. That's probably in my top 5 as well. Just a really sweet song. And then the last song is The Life of a Showgirl. The lyric video for Life of a Showgirl is her in that Marilyn Monroe outfit as well. She's walking into the dressing room, and it's sort of that quintessential, like, showgirl-esque vibe. And so she uses that same outfit in the sort of same setting in 3 of those lyric videos, which I didn't mind. And then I was also wondering the whole time leading up to this song if like Sabrina had recorded or filmed any like visuals as well for this, because obviously she's in the song, but there were no visuals recorded specifically for the lyric video. But they did put up clips from when she performed with Taylor during the Eras tour. And I don't know why I got a little like teary-eyed when I saw it, because it just makes me so happy that somebody like Sabrina, who was such a fan of Taylor Swift, and she obviously was very influential in her life and in her music, that now she not only was able to perform with her as an opener, but she was able to perform with her on stage during the Eras tour, and now she is immortalized in this lyric video and on this album. So I just thought that was really, really cute, that she added Sabrina into the lyric video. She talks about how this is about like a fictional person that, she goes to see, and when she finally meets them, instead of her, when she says, I want to be like you, I want to be on the stage too, I want to have your life, instead of her being like, yeah, this is a great thing, like she warns her against doing this, because being a showgirl, being in the spotlight, having this kind of career is a lot. It's hard, and people are gonna stomp on you. You're gonna have to work hard, and it's gonna be difficult, because it's not always glamorous. It's not all glitz and glam. It's also like kind of turns on the head of like, then she works hard, she became what she wanted, but it wasn't without sacrifice. And she talks about how she had finished the song, and after she had already finished it, she realized that she really wanted Sabrina to sing on it. So she invited Sabrina to sing, and they recorded it in Sweden and everything when they were on the European leg of the tour. And she just said that Sabrina was like the perfect person to have in this song, because she really embodies like a true showgirl, but she also like knows how to roll with the punches, and she takes the feedback and the criticism from people, but she doesn't let it bother her. She kind of just keeps going, and she uses it as fuel to further her own, music and her career. And I agree with that. I think Sabrina was a really good person to put on this. And so then after that song, she talks about Fate of Ophelia. And this is, she's using the tale of Ophelia from Hamlet, who she was, the love interest of Hamlet, but he rejected her, and she was, very put down by her father, and she was mistreated. She was a woman who was mistreated, and she really went mad because of love, and then she ended up drowning. And so this song is about how Travis has saved her heart from the fate of Ophelia, because now she doesn't have to, be driven mad by love. She's sort of didn't have that fate, and he saved her from that. And she uses a lot of metaphor from the story of Hamlet and Ophelia's story, and it's just sort of like she's taking that and turning it into, you know, what it could have been for Ophelia. You know, if she had somebody who came and saved her, she wouldn't have had that fate. And I think this is a poetic song. I really like this song. This is one of my favorites on the album as well. And then after she talked about that, she showed us again the music video for The Fate of Ophelia. And I love that she did that, because in the beginning, she just sort of threw it at you and you were like, oh my God, we're being thrust into this new era. And then she goes straight into talking about Elizabeth Taylor. And I'm like, are you going to explain Fate of Ophelia? Like, even though I kind of understood it, but then she just explained it at the end, and then she shows us the music video. So that is basically everything with The Party of a Showgirl. I really enjoyed that. I can see how much, you know, Taylor put into that, and how just with the little messages that she had, how excited she was for the fans to experience the album in this way. It's different. And so, yeah, that was everything with that. So now that we have talked through the Party of a Showgirl, before I end the episode, I do want to do my official ranking for the album. So, like I said, this is number 3 of my favorite albums that she has ever put out. So that is where that ranks on the album list. But for the songs, number 1 I'm ranking is Opalite. This one is just so quintessential Taylor. It's such a happy song. I can just see and hear in her voice like how much she loves this. This is also Travis's favorite song, and I can totally see why. This one, I have not heard a single negative thing about this song on the internet, and that's my number 1. The second one is actually Romantic. I just like how like cheeky this song is. It's kind of reminds me of like Reputation vibes, and I just like the beat. I like the lyrics that she puts in, and it's just one of my favorite songs. The next one is Wood, and this one's just funny. It just reminds me of the 1989 era and the rep era, where her music was just kind of like funny, a lot of play on words, and it's just an upbeat, fun song. So that one's my number 3. Number 4 is going to be The Fate of Ophelia. I absolutely love this song so much. I love the music video. I think it's a perfect intro to the album, a perfect first music video, and it's just a beautiful song. I love the metaphor, and it's just a good beat and just such a fun song. My number 5 spot is going to go to Honey. I think this is just so sweet. I love the meaning and the sentiment behind this song. I just love it so much, and it just makes me happy when I hear it. And again, I can just like see and feel how like happy she is when she recorded this, and it's just the sentiment is really beautiful. My number 6 spot is Wishlist. This one grew on me a lot. This was lower on my list earlier, but it's my number 6 spot. I love the concept of it, like that her wish list is she just wants to be with him, and she doesn't want like material things, and that the most valuable thing is love. And I just love that sentiment. I think the song is really cool. I think the lyrics are funny. It's just a good beat. So that's going to my number 6 spot. Number 7 is going to be The Life of a Showgirl. To be honest, I thought that this one was going to be higher up on my ranking, but those other 6 songs they outdid it. But I do love this song. I think her having Sabrina on it is perfect. I love the story that they're telling in it, and the bridge of this song. It's probably one of my favorite bridges on the album. And yeah, it's really good. I will rank this probably very high up in collaborations that she's done as well. Maybe I'll do an episode on that. But yeah, for this album, it's number 7. Number 8 is going to go to Father Figure. This one again was actually up higher on the list, but Wishlist and Life of a Showgirl kind of knocked it out for me after I listened to them more. I do really enjoy this song. I love the metaphor in this, that she's both the father figure and the protege. It's definitely, you know, leaning into her being a mentor, but also like her learning from and sort of getting betrayed by her old management as well. And it's just a good song. I like it a lot. Number 9 is going to be Elizabeth Taylor. This one, on my first listen, I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite immediately. And after listening to the whole rest of the album and really digesting everything, it's just lower on the list, but I do like it. I do like it a lot. Number 10 spot is going to go to Canceled. This one, I do love this. The last 3 songs are on the list lower because they're just slower, and I personally prefer more upbeat songs. So that's why, honestly, that one's lower on the list. And same with Elizabeth Taylor and Father Figure. Those ones are on the lower end of the list just because they're slower, and I just prefer faster songs. But I do like Canceled. In the last two spots, number 11 is Ruin the Friendship. Again, it's just lower on the list because it's slow and it's sad. And this is a no skip album for me, but if I'm in my like bops only mode, I probably wouldn't be playing Canceled, Ruin the Friendship, or Eldest Daughter, which is my number 12 spot, only because it's slow. Again, I don't hate any of the songs. I love all these songs, but those three are just the lowest rankings because they're slow, and the last two are kind of sad. And when I'm in my bops only mode, that's the kind of music I want to be listening to, is more, upbeat stuff. But these are all fantastic songs. So again, number 1 through 10, we have Opalite, Actually Romantic, Wood, Fate of Ophelia, Honey, Wishlist, The Life of a Showgirl, Father Figure, Elizabeth Taylor, Canceled, Ruin the Friendship, and Eldest Daughter. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed my retelling of The Party of a Showgirl. I hope you learned a couple more things about the album. And yeah, like always, stay safe, stay classy, and I'll chat again with you soon. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this episode, you can find us on Spotify, Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. See you there.